Welcome to Bayana, the heartbeat of tech in MENA. We bring you raw stories and sharp insights from the founders, investors, and leaders building the region's startup ecosystem. Today, we're doing a deep dive into, well, a really compelling story. It's about resilience, smart strategic moves, and savvy investment right here in the MENA tech scene. We'll be unpacking the journey of WeCheer, a customer experience management platform, and looking at the pivotal role Fndng played in their success. You'll hear how they navigated some, frankly, unprecedented challenges and why this particular investment really stood out.
Yeah, it's fascinating. WeCheer's story, it's not just, here's a successful company. It's more like a masterclass in adaptation. It perfectly shows that dynamic nature of innovation and the kind of strategic thinking you need both founders and investors in today's market. It really is, like you said, a masterclass.
That's a great way to put it. Okay, so let's start with one of the key players here. Fndng. They call themselves advancing the investment ecosystem. That's different. What makes them stand out from a typical VC? And tell us a bit about their VP of Investments, Antoon Melwad, who really championed this deal.
Right. Fndng, they really are distinct. Especially in Lebanon, they're known as true ecosystem builders. It's way beyond just writing checks. They're super proactive, very hands-on. We've seen them launch accelerators, build up business angel groups, really foster a whole community. And since about 2020, they've sharpened their focus on early stage and growth stage investments. Companies that can really move the needle. And Antoon's journey kind of mirrors this whole ethos. He started in banking, then actually became an entrepreneur himself, built a gamified wellness startup, even got seed funding for it. So having been a founder, having been in those trenches, it gives him this unique, empathetic perspective when he's looking at other startups. He gets it.
That founder experience is invaluable. And I understand Fndng itself had to adapt its own model too, right? Especially with everything happening regionally in Lebanon.
Precisely. The economic crisis there, it fundamentally changed the landscape. A lot of founders, a lot of teams, understandably, they relocated. So Fndng couldn't just rely on finding deals locally in the same way. They had to rethink. In mid-2024, they made this really smart strategic shift. They evolved their model to actively include the Lebanese diaspora. So they'd invest in Lebanese founders living abroad. If their work contributed back, creating jobs, generating wealth in Lebanon, that pivot was crucial. It let them reconnect with amazing entrepreneurs like Karim Choueiri at WeCheer, who was operating outside Lebanon then. It broadened their scope, They typically write first checks, maybe up to $500,000 US, and keep more powder dry for follow-on rounds. And it really raises that key question for investors everywhere.
Yeah.
How do you adapt your sourcing when the whole playing field changes?
Adaptability really is the name of the game, isn't it? Okay, so let's shift focus now to WeCheer itself, their origins. When they first pitched Fndng, this was just before COVID hit. They were a totally different company back then.
Yeah.
What was the original idea?
Yeah, totally different. WeCheer, founded by Karim Choueiri and Aurel de Bosset, started with this pretty ingenious hardware product, actually, a smart bottle opener. The idea was clever. Let beer and beverage brands track where and when their products were being consumed, like right at the point of consumption. Imagine knowing exactly which bar, which city, what time your beer bottle was opened. It was niche, yeah, but innovative for data collection back then.
A smart bottle opener.
Yeah.
And then, boom, the world changes. This is where it gets really dramatic. What happened when the pandemic hit? How did that impact that very specific business model?
Oh, it was devastating for that model. The pandemic wasn't just a hurdle. It was like an existential bomb went off. Lockdowns everywhere. Bars, restaurants, venues, the core places for their bottle opener just shut down overnight. Or their market vanished. Poof. So naturally, talks with Fndng went cold. The WeCheer team faced this immediate stark choice. Pivot completely, radically, or just die. It really underscores that harsh reality, doesn't it? How quickly things can change and the absolute need for extreme adaptability. A real moment of truth.
Wow. Okay, so fast forward a couple of years. WeCheer reemerges. Not just tweaked, but completely reimagined. Let's unpack this transformation. How did they pivot so drastically, and what's the new focus?
It was a massive shift, truly transformative. They went from that niche hardware gadget to a full-on, scalable customer experience management platform. A sauce play. This wasn't just a little adjustment, it was a fundamental rethink of their whole value proposition. Their new platform empowers all CPG brands' consumer packaged goods to collect that super valuable first-party data directly from consumers. It helps brands engage directly, run campaigns, manage rewards, all using simple QR codes. No hardware needed. And this new model, it immediately got traction with huge names. Kellanova, Mars, Pernod Ricard. That tells you they hit a real pain point.
That is a huge leap. So how does this new WeCheer platform actually work? What makes it unique in solving this, ongoing problem for CPG brands?
What's really cool is how WeCheer unlocks engagement at what they call the last mile. Think about it. CPG brands usually have almost zero visibility, zero direct connection. In all those independent bars, small shops, local restaurants, places where their products are actually bought and used, WeCheer bridges that gap. A consumer just scans a QR code on the product, maybe a poster, maybe a table tent. No app download needed, which is huge. Less friction.
Right, no app is key.
Exactly. They span, they instantly engage, maybe for a reward, a contest, whatever, and boom, that feeds real-time first-party data straight back to the brand. You get the who, the where, the when of consumption. That's gold. Actionable insight they just didn't have before.
That point of consumption data, yeah, incredibly valuable. But does it stop with the consumer? Or does it reach further into the commercial chain?
Oh, it goes way deeper. That's part of the beauty. The platform is designed to activate and incentivize, well, basically everyone in the chain. Field agents out visiting stores, distributors, even the staff working in the retail outlets or bars. It aligns everyone behind the brand's goals, their KPIs, using incentives, tracking what they do on the ground, at scale. Imagine an agent scanning a code when they set up a display, or bar staff logging a promotion. So you combine that real-time consumer data with the operational data, precision marketing, activating the whole chain. Suddenly, these offline places that were kind of off the grid become connected growth engines. You get measurable ROI, a real competitive edge. It connects all the dots.
Okay, so with this radically transformed WeCheer, it makes sense. Conversations with IM Funding started up again, probably with a lot more energy. What was the thinking behind IM Funding deciding to jump into their $1.7 million pre-Series A round? And what does this signal for other founders or investors looking for opportunities?
Well, yeah, the momentum was definitely different. Several things really stood out for IM Funding this time around. First, just the sheer scale and the clarity of the pivot. It was undeniable. Moving from just beverages to the entire CPG market, that unlocked massive growth potential. Huge. Second, their traction was incredibly strong, almost, unusually strong for that stage. Nearly 50 major brands already using the platform.
50? Wow.
Yeah, 50. That's not just pilots, that's real validation. Product market fit confirmed by the big players. It showed the solution worked and was needed. And their strategy, this land and expand approach, was also really smart. Start in one market with a big brand, prove the value, then roll out across other regions with the same brand. Repeatable success, clear ROI. Very compelling.
Makes sense. And beyond the market and the traction, IM Funding also mentioned founder market fit. How did Kareem Shwari's background specifically factor in?
Right, founder market fit. It raises that crucial question, How important is the founder, especially when you're betting on adaptation like this? Kareem's deep experience from his time at Nestlé was absolutely pivotal. It wasn't just that he understood the CPG world inside out, the value chain, consumer behavior, all of it. Critically, it gave him access to a powerful network, and he used it expertly. I mean, he even landed Nestlé as an early customer for the new WeCheer platform.
That's a powerful endorsement right there.
Exactly. Shows huge credibility.
And besides his experience, was there something else about Kareem, maybe personally, that really struck IM Funding, especially thinking about how he navigated the pandemic?
Oh, absolutely. It was his resilience, his leadership through that incredibly tough time. Think about it. Lots of startups were folding, laying people off. Kareem, he kept his team together, intact. While orchestrating this massive pivot, he successfully transformed the business model, rapidly adapted the product, essentially turned the company around from near death in just about a year. That showed incredible grit, just an amazing ability to lead through intense adversity and actually turn those challenges into major growth fuel. So for IM Funding, you've got proven traction, clear product market fit, and a founder like Kareem who's demonstrated that kind of resilience and vision. It was kind of a no-brainer, especially with the potential for growth and creating jobs back in Lebanon. It was the whole package.
It really is a remarkable turnaround story. So today, WeCheer has already hit $2.5 million in annual recurring revenue. Pretty solid.
Yeah.
What's next for them? And how does IM Funding keep adding value now beyond just the initial check?
Yeah, that $2.5 million ARR shows there's real demand. They're now actively raising a Series A round, and they're ambitious. The goal is scaling towards $50 million in ARR. According to Antoon at IM Funding, the key challenge now is driving that consistent consumer engagement via QR codes across more and more touch points, more regions. It's about scaling that interaction.
So it sounds like for WeCheer, it's definitely not just about the money at this stage. They need partners who bring more to the table.
Exactly. And IM Funding gets that. They're not passive investors at all. They provide really crucial access to top engineering talent from Lebanon. They have partnerships with Ecole 42, which is a top coding school, and also Jobs for Lebanon, which interestingly is part of Jobs for Humanity, another company in IM Funding's portfolio. So it creates this pipeline for skilled tech talent. Huge advantage when you're scaling fast.
That talent pipeline is critical.
For sure. And beyond talent, IM Funding makes introductions to potential Series A investors, to other major brands based out of Lebanon. They help expand WeCheer's network for funding and market growth. It's that kind of holistic support network that gives them a real strategic edge for hitting those aggressive growth targets.
Yeah.
It's ecosystem building in practice.
Okay, so this whole deep dive into WeCheer's journey, I mean, from smart bottle openers to a CPG platform powerhouse, there are so many lessons here for anyone in the startup game. If we connect this back to the bigger picture for you, our listener, founder, investor, wherever you sit, what's maybe one key takeaway from IM Funding's perspective on this investment?
Yeah, looking back, for Antun and IM Funding, investing in WeCheer was, like we said, a real masterclass in adapting to shifting market dynamics. Maybe the single biggest takeaway was the value of rethinking your own traditional strategies. Their move to actively target the Lebanese diaspora, not just companies in Lebanon. That wasn't just a small adjustment. It opened up this vastly wider pool of talent, of innovation, of really high potential companies they might have completely missed otherwise. It forced them to challenge their own assumptions about where good deals come from. And that brings up, I think, a really important question for everyone listening. Are you, whether you're a founder looking for your angle or an investor hunting for the next big thing, are you kind of rigid in your approach? Are you sticking to the usual boundaries? Or are you constantly asking, where are the real opportunities now? Even if it means looking beyond the conventional, beyond what's comfortable. The market doesn't stand still right. Your strategy can't either.
WeCheer's story isn't just about a successful pivot. It's a powerful reminder that in the volatile world of startups, resilience isn't just a desirable trait. It's often the ultimate competitive advantage, allowing true innovation to emerge from adversity. For more stories like this, subscribe to Bayanat's newsletter and stay updated on the latest in MENA's tech and startup ecosystem.